Hello and welcome to this taste challenge. Not a Dawn Busters taste challenge, but a morning taste challenge. Couldn't do the Dawn Busters. I had to bring some, how do you say that? A supply, a shipment to Travis Roofing Supply in Jefferson, Louisiana. Elmwood, Jefferson Highway, right at the foot of the Huey Long Bridge. So that's what happened. You say, well, I'm not interested in that. This is not a vlog. It's a taste challenge. I don't care about your personal deliveries and whatever you had to do. And I understand that because I don't watch those either. Anyway, we have from 1934, Royal Canadian. Remember, I used to have that small glass bottle, but I bought a full-size bottle. Royal Canadian imported. These are both 80 proof, okay? They both have no age statement, and they're both imported from Canada. And neither one of them have a website description or anything like that. Imported Royal Canadian blended Canadian whiskey, distilled under supervision of the government of the Dominion of Canada, product of Canada. They're trying to make a point. Bottled in the U.S. by Sazerac Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. Okay. Introduced in 1934. This is one of the old brands. I didn't say it was one of the popular brands. I say it's old. Has the standard Sazerac bottle. Although this one's a little different. It's tapered. It has shoulders and then it comes in a little bit. So it's not quite standard, I guess. I don't know if y'all have had Royal Canadian. Doesn't say anything about flavoring, okay? I don't think it's one of those. It may have some flavorings, but they're not emphasizing that, and Sazerac usually emphasizes it. Soda Tober says, Big Ron, Trump Jr. 2024. We better not jump ahead. Okay, so we're going to go up against something I really have no information about except what I find on the bottle. Heir to the throne. Heir to the throne. Introduced at some point in history, discontinued perhaps. Doesn't say anything about bottled in the USA. It says carefully distilled and matured in oak casks, a perfect blend of Canadian whiskeys. Rebel Spirits, Gardena, California. That's who imports it, or imported it, because Rebel Spirits got bought out. They're no longer around. They're under some other company's import service. Ultra smooth. I didn't find that to be the case. Blended Canadian whiskey, matured in oak casks. Cross swords, 2 griffins, a crown, an eagle, 2 more cross swords, a fleur-de-lis. Guess they're trying to really emphasize heraldry. Don't even bother trying to look it up on the internet. You won't find it. Royal, yeah, and this was not a perfect blend. It was a nice cork, though. Real wood, real cork. I would call it more like a tolerable blend. It was 1565, so I thought it would be a little better, but I'm going to bring Crown Royal into play before the end of 2019. Okay, that's my promise. Well, I keep my promise. I intend to. So if something happens and I don't, it's not because I try to weasel out. It's because something happened. But yeah, I'm going to get the Crown Royal. I mean, I really need to do that. Okay. Royal, the purple. But the Royal Canadian's not purple. Okay. Notice it said the Dominion of Canada. When Canada okay, I can't talk. When Canada was created in 1867, it started with 4 provinces. Now it's up to 10. But they were making this new country, this confederation, this union of provinces, confederation. Now it's more like a federation. But or unitary really, but in many cases, but they wanted to call it the Kingdom of Canada, but they were saying, the British government said, no, the United States, they're real weird about monarchies, and that could give them an excuse to invade us for the third time. So they decided to call it the Dominion of Canada, which is a synonym for kingdom. And they figured Americans won't know what that word means, and they won't bother looking it up. So the Americans were like, you're right, we're not going to have no kingdom next to us, but a dominion's fine. All right. And now they just say Canada. You don't see the word dominion anymore. It's considered a realm, one of Queen Elizabeth's 16 kingdoms, plus all the other territories in the world that are not independent, but are still under Queen Elizabeth. Okay, but anyway, enough for the history geography lesson. But that's why the Canadian, you ever notice a lot of the Canadian whiskeys or whatever products, especially whiskey, will have like Royal this, Regal that, you know, it'll say Dominion this, because it all comes back from the monarchy, whereas the United States has a president, a republic. So you'll see over here, Republic, National, you know, whatever. All right. That's just an indication where the names originate. Appearance. Well, the Royal Canadian is a good deal darker. I didn't think that would be the case. I thought it would be more gold, but it's more amber than gold. And Heir to the Throne is more gold than amber. So, okay. That's why you do the challenges, I guess. See about the consistency of the body. Royal Canadian is pretty swishy and watery. This is Heir, right? Yeah, Heir to the Throne. Yeah, might have a little more body, but I doubt it. Remember, 80 proof. I went to Star Fuel on Louisiana Highway 49. I was on Louisiana Highway 48 at the Roofing Supply, but then I was on 49 and I stopped at Star. And I bought 2 malt liquors to do the malt liquor challenge. I got Mickey's and Colt 45. I was glad to see that. And then they had a big liquor selection. I was like, man, they have a great, probably better than the big grocery stores in that same town. But I didn't buy anything. I have too much. But I saw stuff there that I had never seen before, like Aristocrat 150 proof rum, 150. I said, ooh. And they had some other ones that overproof rum. And then they had Pinch Scotch, $32. I know at Mathern's they had it for 36. So Star hadn't beat. And then another thing Star had was the Taka Gin, which almost no one has. And they had the liter bottles. I say, Taka Gin. Yeah, that's considered one of the best budget gins by myself and other people who've written reviews, I noticed. Taka, green label with gold and other trim. Then the Taka Vodka is blue and gray label, blue and silver. And the Taka 100 proof vodka is red and silver. I only seen that in Winn-Dixie in Destrehan, Louisiana. I did a private review of Taka vodka years ago. I bought a bottle and tried it, and I liked it. It wasn't anything great, but I was thinking I ought to do a video review one day for that. And I also did Crown Rust vodka, but it was the same thing. It wasn't posted online. It was just a private. I tasted it and I thought about it and said, okay, it's better than I thought. I thought it would really be bad. But then I thought about it. I see it at a lot of restaurants and bars, so they can't use anything too bad. And I see it at a lot of stores. Not Crown Rust so much. I do see it, yes. But Taka everywhere. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, everywhere you turn, you see Taka vodka. You see Crown Crystal Palace gin. I'm talking about in Louisiana, Crystal Palace. You say, well, that's no delightful product. That's not a top tier product. Oh, no. whoever thought it was. It has been around since 1938 or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But people buy it. Okay. Smells standard, like, you know, standard Canadian whiskey. Nothing great, nothing bad, just standard. Same here with a little more caramel, a little more candy corn. So that might be Royal Canadian. Now, if you watch the video review my daughter and I did for Royal Canadian, she was saying, at first. And I said, it's really bad, huh? And then as she thought about it, she said, it's not really bad. She said, but I just really drank bourbon all the time. I'm not used to Canadian whiskey. And she said, secondly, it's kind of dull. It's like, doesn't have much flavor. But she said, I honestly can't say it tastes bad, you know, like it has a bad taste. But she wasn't thrilled with it, and she wouldn't obviously go buy it. I'm not thrilled with it. Although I like it more now than when I first started with it. I think this is Heir to the Throne because I'm picking up that little alcohol grain, like grain alcohol, burn rubbing alcohol, and it's got that little twang. But I'm gonna have to taste them. I really can't tell these apart on aroma only. I think it's too difficult. Maybe this is the Royal. And the reason I'm saying this is the Royal, well, I said that was Heir. The reason I'm saying this is the Royal, I'm picking up a little bit of that Sazerac Buffalo Trace. John Anile calls it almond extract. It isn't that, but it's almost an indescribable aroma and flavor. You could say it's this, it's that, and people would say, well, that sounds strange, weird, odd. But if you didn't taste it on your own, if you didn't try it, you'd never really understand what we were talking about. But once you try it, you'd be like, oh, that. And you might hate it. Like my friend David said, oh, it's black licorice. I said, what? He just hate it. Or you might like it, because some people like these flavored. And as we know, every beer that hits the market these days is flavored. I'm talking about beer, you know, over there. But it's like that with whiskey. Okay, so on aroma, I really do now. This is unofficial. Don't hold me to it. I think this is Royal Canadian. I think that's Heir to the Throne. Yeah. Heir has more caramel, too, and more rye. All right. All right. I can't play around because I got to do another taste challenge later today. Whiskey, too. Heir to the Throne versus Canadian Club 12 year. Well, that's not going to be any kind of real challenge. Now, tomorrow's video, it won't be a beer review because I won't have time. But over there on John Anili's channel, we're going to all be examining KBS, Founders KBS 2019, but whatever one you want to bring. But probably most people have the 2019. I'll just do a rum taste challenge. It'll be Castillo Gold versus Aristocrat Gold. Okay, and then for next Monday, which I'll probably have to do on Sunday if I have time, and I may not. I don't know what'll happen with that. It'll be could do it Tuesday or a day later. I think, but it'll be Skull versus Aristocrat. That'll be a really interesting, you know, value priced rum taste challenge. Okay. That has all the hallmarks of a Sazerac produced. Does Sazerac produce their own Canadian whiskey? Or is it contracted to a distiller in Canada? This we do not know. Now, some people might claim, oh, yeah, I know. And I say, well, how can you verify it? I mean, can you give me a link, a website, some source material? And if they can, I'd be so happy. But a lot of times they'll say stuff like, well, I worked in the industry. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. You know, who knows who comes on here? They could be just making everything up. But I would say the viewer's probably telling the truth. But I got to have some more verification. I can't just say, well, somebody, he worked in the industry, so that's evidence. That's not evidence. I read somewhere there's only 5 distilleries in Canada. Okay, what are they? I don't know. Where are they? I don't know. To my 5 big ones. He listed them, but then he didn't provide a source, this article online. Okay, where's your source? Oh, nothing. Just believe me. I have a blog. Okay, yeah. Heir to the Throne is a little sharper, has a little twang at the end. I've gotten really used to it, so the twang is not apparent anymore in my taste. You know, you get used to something and you have trouble picking up what you didn't, what you really caught on to at first. All right. BT4K says, morning, Ron. Some Canadian whiskey would help me get through all this yard work I have to get done. Oh, yeah. No joke. I got to start edging today, I think. I wanted to edge tomorrow and cut Thursday, but the grass is a little high. And unfortunately, no, I really need to wait till Thursday. I don't know. It could be rain. I don't know. It's going to be a big mess. And in Canada, they spell whiskey without an E. It's just WHISKY. But I was reading somewhere yesterday. What was that? And they were talking about, oh, Canadian whiskey, but they were spelling it with an E. And this is a company. It was like a distilling company. Our Canadian whiskey, I said, well, it doesn't have an E. Oh, you know what it was? It was a liqueur made with Canadian whiskey. That cherry pie. Pie hole cherry liqueur whiskey, 70 proof. They were saying we use really good, yeah, sure, Canadian whiskey to make pie hole cherry, and then they have caramel color to give it color, and they put that on the label, and some cherry flavoring, whatever they're using. But I said, man, a big company like Diageo, they go around buying all these small companies like Pie Hole, Cabin Fever. They just go buy them out. They're like, we're independent. We're fiercely independent, family owned. And Diageo is like, well, we'll pay you this much for your company. And they look at the check. They say, we'll take it. Same thing with beer. You know, these people say, I have a beard. I have tattoos. I have a nose, you know, ear holes. I wear flannel shirts. I'm down with the people. It's a people's movement. This beer company is fiercely independent. I'm the vanguard of the revolution. And then Anheuser-Busch comes along and says, we'll pay you this much for your company. We'll take it. And then they'll put on a 3-piece suit, get their hair cut, say, I'm corporate all the way. I am the man. We're all the man. You, and you. You're all the man. The man on the silver mountain. All right. Now, this is obviously Royal Canadian, but it says heir to the throne, so obviously I'm wrong. Haha. Oh, well. How you like that? How do you think it feels? When you've been up for 5 straight days. Listen, babe. Hey, you know what? I was wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, and I'll admit it. But I'll admit it. You see, when I'm wrong, I'm not going to go delete the video and pretend nothing happened. Never knew that. Learn something new every day. Yeah, you can learn something new every day. Any of y'all, if you're willing to learn, and you're open-minded and you have intelligence. Some people have intelligence, but they're not open-minded. Some people are willing to learn, but they don't have intelligence. Some people are intelligent and they're willing to learn, but they're not open-minded. Okay. Well, I got it wrong. I did say that they were both pretty standard though when I started, right? So maybe I was just kind of like searching for things and hoping for the best and imagining I was smelling that weird almond extract. Well, heck. So which one would I buy? Obviously, the answer is so clear. Oh, and man, they had great liquor prices at Star. Like, you know, I always say Canadian Limited is $7.42 at Walmart. At Star, it's $6.99. $6.99. I said, whoa. And I always talk about Heaven Hill blended Kentucky whiskey. That's $6.19 around here, $6.59. $5.99 at Star, $5.99 at Star, $5.99 at Star, $5.99 at Star. I said, Bazuma, I might have to go back there in 5 years and buy some liquor. You know, 5 years since I have an incredibly and embarrassingly large liquor stock right now. Oh, well, so I would buy Royal Canadian since it's $8.99 a bottle, and I'm not paying $15.65 for two whiskeys. I can't even tell them apart. Right? Does that make sense? I paid $15.65 for Heir to the Throne. And I paid $8.99 for Royal Canadian, which comes in a brown bottle, by the way, which protects it from light, unlike the clear bottle. And yeah, whiskey can get light damage too. Not as easily as beer. But you read up on these whiskey websites, they'll tell you that, yeah, brown is better. And I can't tell them apart. So why, oh, why, oh, why would I pay $6.60 more for something I can't tell from the cheaper one? Guess what? I wouldn't. I don't care if it's got a cork or not. I don't drink the cork. The cork is pretty. It's wonderful. This one has a screw cap, plastic screw cap. Fine. So Royal Canadian wins by default. Couldn't tell them apart. Paid way less. Royal Canadian is the winner. And it hasn't won too many competitions, honestly. When are you going to crack into the Windsor? It says BT4K. I got to do that soon. I'm going to, all right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through the blended whiskey because after I finish this Canadian thing, which will be coming up soon, I'm going to go to Bellows versus everybody. That's going to take a little while. You got to be patient because I'm still trying to do the rums concurrently. Then I would like to do the Scotch. I don't have as many Scotches, so it won't take as long. I want to do the Inverhouse Green Plaid, which I think you'll find interesting. The next Canadian whiskey I do, every day I do, the next Canadian whiskey I do is going to be Windsor, because that's the oldest one I've got now as far as backstock. Yeah, it's time. It's time. I bought that at Winn-Dixie. It was years ago. It was $10.99, something like that. It's time. It's time. And guess what else I've got? I've got the Windsor. I've got the Lord Calvert. That's 2. Or Calvert Canadian, 2. I've got the Canadian, the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights. That's 3. Alex the Beer Master says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Alex. So I got the Windsor Canadian, the Northern Lights, Calvert Canadian, James Fox, I know there's one more. See what I'm saying? You get so overwhelmed with backstock, you can't even keep up. But those have to be addressed. This cannot just go on like this. Okay, but we are so behind, not behind, but we're so overwhelmed with all of these. But Windsor Canadian, everybody keeps telling me, Windsor Canadian, Windsor Canadian. This is the key. This is the key to the riddle, etc. I'm going to try it. It's a historic brand. It's been around a long time. It needs to be done. Then I have to get the Crown Royal by the end of the year. So BT4K, just hang in there. I'm going to try to do it soon. Now I'm off to do a beer review, and I'm going to post it in about, let's say it's 9 o'clock Central. Let's say by noon. I think by noon it should be posted, and that is one of these flavored beers, a margarita flavored beer. Cayman Jack. But I mean, what you say? Oh, you said you were only going to do. I was going to do one a month, and then I started thinking, why do I have that rule? It doesn't even make any sense because every craft beer I buy is flavored. Every one. So, like the Founders tequila thing. All right, thanks for watching this video.